You guys might remember how I have a slight little obsession with Dunkin' Donuts, and I went to... Oh wait, that's a huge Dunkin' Donuts sign behind me. This is awkward. I guess they're rebranding and they're throwing out all the old signs. I talked to them. They're like, yeah, get it. So we went, we grabbed it. It's pouring. We're a little bit wet. Got them in there. Probably about a half mile down the road, doing 15 miles an hour and a 55. It's a little bit sketchy, but here we are. And I thought that would be really stinking cool to hang up in the garage. And I thought that you guys would think that's probably hilarious, so I just wanted to share it with you.
Holy ish. Holy ish, because they are huge.
Think they make good garage decor?
Wow.
What's up, guys? Big Clyde 34 coming at you today with a couple of tips for anybody who might be thinking about putting together their own garage or possibly doing a little bit of furnishing with cabinets and such to their pre-existing garage. And this is kind of going to act as a little bit of a garage update as well. Got lots of tips and tricks and things that I wish I might have thought of before I went and did all this stuff. So we're going to get into that in 1 second. First, just a tiny bit of housekeeping, if that's all right with you. If you do end up enjoying this video or getting any value from it, a like is very much appreciated. It's the free way to help out the channel. It does all kinds of nerdy stuff with the algorithm that helps the videos keep growing. And if you want to keep up with more garage updates, more single cab updates, and secret Corvette updates, subscribe, hit the bell icon with your subscription. It's very much appreciated. One last order of business. If I could just grab your attention for 1 more second before we get to the meat of the video. I am going to be doing a sale. I guess you could call it a liquidation. I think I'm going to be getting rid of the current merch as it sits. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing merch or if I'm just going to get rid of this and take a breather for a second or what's going on. Anyways, in any situation, I am going to be cleaning house. So if you go to bigclyde34.com/store and order a Run Your Car Not Your Mouth hoodie or t-shirt with the code that you see on screen. I'm really bad at doing that. That code, wherever it is, will get you 30% off your order, and every third order will have, let me rephrase that, every third hoodie order will have a free t-shirt inside. So not only are you going to be able to get this stuff basically at what the cost of a blank hoodie is going to be to someone who goes out and buys a hoodie off the shelf, every third person is going to get a free t-shirt with a hoodie order. If you just want to get a t-shirt, the 30% off applies to that as well. So without further ado, let's hop right into this video about the garage. A lot of people have been asking for updates. This might help out some newcomers as well who are just looking to efficiently build their garage and get it outfitted with all kinds of stuff. So let's dig right into it. Piece of advice numero uno is get a bigger building than what you're expecting. This is probably the most generic garage advice that you will ever get. As you can see here, this isn't a fair vision of what this is going to look like because we are just getting everything organized. There's a whole pile of stuff over there. But as you can see here, I'm in a 30 by 30. And I was gonna get a 30 by 20. I actually got talked into a 30 by 30, but if you take a look at this, we got the back of the car here. This is basically all the way forward. And then this is all the space that I have. So if I had a 30 by 20, these cabinets would probably be right about here, and I wouldn't have any room to do anything. And this size deal, I feel like a 30 by 30 is probably about right for an enthusiast who wants to keep one car inside and work in the other bay on another car. As you can see where I have my lift almost all the way set up over here. 30 by 30 is just about right for me, since I'm always doing projects and making videos and all that. I think that this will work out pretty well, but I also wouldn't have minded going bigger. I think I could have taken up just a little bit more space going that way into the yard. It is what it is. I'm happy with it. You know, we always want more. And going bigger also includes the roof, the ceiling. I got the 14-foot ceilings in here, so I kind of went big on all the basic things that were irreversible. My thought with the 14-foot ceilings, I believe, I don't know if they come with 10 or 12-foot ceilings, but either way, this is just high enough up here. I don't know how much you're gonna be able to really get perspective or tell, but up here, we could build a loft. Over here, we're gonna be building racks, heavy duty racks for wheels and tires and such. But I could build a loft probably all the way up to the door bracket almost and have plenty of room to get up there and store stuff and walk around. And you just kind of like want to give yourself the extra room to grow. That really kind of limits you when you just spend all that money to be able to work inside in your own garage. So give yourself something that you could grow into, especially if you're living in a place where you don't think you're going to be moving from, because you'll never regret going bigger. I mean, it costs more money, but you definitely will regret going smaller than you need. So That's definitely very important, can't be overlooked. A lot of people are like, yeah, whatever, it's just generic advice, but there's a reason why it's generic, because basically everybody who does one of these things thinks about the same thing. Piece of advice number 2 that I have for you, this one might be a little bit more of a long shot, but it's actually one of my favorite pieces of advice. Now, you can see here, Dad and I, we got the cabinets installed almost all the way. Tops and bottoms, they are very nice to have. Cabinets laid out, we got lumber, we got saws. Now it's time for a dog break. What you got there, buddy? Good. Thank you. Can you sit? Good girl. Can you speak? Can you speak? Speak. Z, talk to me. Talk. These cabinets were actually free. If you were to put this kind of cabinetry in your garage, you'd probably be looking at thousands of dollars. I'm gonna explain to you how you can get in on this in a second, but in my situation, I was very fortunate because a friend of mine, his name is Tom, and he's doing the electrical and he does commercial electric. He's like, dude, there's this building down in the city, they're ripping out the cabinetry, they're just basically throwing it out for new stuff. Because when you think about it, what is a commercial construction place gonna do with this kind of stuff? And this isn't honestly the first time that I've heard of something like this, from countertops to cabinets and all kinds of stuff. It's definitely something that I would reach out, maybe look around on Facebook. If you want to, maybe drive around to places near you where you know there might be construction going on and go, hey, you guys throwing anything out that I might be able to use? Because then you might be able to get yourself something for free that you would probably spend thousands upon thousands of dollars for otherwise. I mean, the cabinets aren't 100% perfect. They're very good, in very good condition. They're very well laid out. Some of the Formica might be coming off, or you know, a piece might be a little bit crooked here and there. They're garage cabinets. I got them for free. I would still have probably paid a lot of money to get these in here eventually. But yeah, that's tip number 2. Kind of just look around and know that these construction sites end up throwing away all kinds of stuff. This is probably 10 feet. That's probably another 5 feet over there that we're working on building the workbench on top of. And the entire length was done completely for free. So it might be a little bit more far-fetched to think that you could get something like this, but it's definitely worth a shot. One of the other things that I learned with this building is to probably not get one place to do everything. Now, I know that there are probably some situations where it might be the best deal to get one person to do everything, but if you think about how they're making their money doing stuff like this, it's by subcontracting and marking up the services of other companies. So for me personally, I got the concrete done by the same company that did the building. They also did the doors. But what I did notice is that for basically every piece of this, a different company came out. Now I can't be 100% sure, but I think that the company that built this only actually made the building, and then everything to put it in and install it was subcontracted. So I would be left paying the difference of what their markup is on the subcontracting job, if there was one. And I assume there was one. This is an assumption, but it only makes sense, right? So do a little bit of shopping around and planning out. Don't be afraid to wait and get a bunch of quotes before you do something like this. So what I did do on my own was, like I told you, Tom is doing the electric as kind of a side job. We're saving some money on it. The electric did seem like one thing from the company that built my particular building that was pretty high. I'm sure Tom is giving me a little bit of a break on the electric here, but even if I did go out and subcontract it to another company on my own, it probably still would have been cheaper than the packages that they provided me, because some things made sense, but other things, you know, charging a lot for lights. I think it was a lot of money for a workbench. It's just like there's some things that you can really do yourself or pay a specialist to do without paying the markup that would really make more sense for you. So tip number 3 is kind of shop around, see what it would cost to part out all the different jobs in concrete, building, assembly, doors, electrical, that kind of thing, versus getting the company just to do it for you. Step number 4 is to consider your accessibility and don't be in denial before your design, because I actually built this and a buddy of mine was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I think I'm gonna build something in my backyard, and kind of wanted to cram it in there. After just seeing how it works with this, I knew that that wouldn't work. So you want to be as brutally honest with yourself as you can about accessibility, because, you know, even sitting where I'm at back here, it can kind of be a pain, and we're still working on the electric. This is still settling, but it can kind of be a pain to get from there to here. It doesn't seem like it, but it really can be. Is it easily accessible? Is it worth me building a garage in this spot that I had planned? Can I get there from the house easily? Can I drive a car there easily? Or is it gonna be, you know, kind of just a wreck and really a challenge to get anything in there? Last but not least, consider your equipment before you go out and get something designed. Now for me, I knew I wanted at least a 2-post lift to be able to work on a vehicle, and then another bay with maybe a 4-post lift to be able to store a vehicle on top, and I'm able to do both of those things in here. In addition, I want to run like a compressor, and I want to have a welder, and I want to do all kinds of things. So that was a big part of the reason why I elected to go from my original plan of 30 by 20 to 30 by 30. A little bit more money, definitely worth it with the space. Another thing, just kind of a little bonus add-on to this final step, is to do all of the important growing into it things first. If it's a basic, just get it done, get it knocked out, and just make sure that it's out of your way before you start moving stuff in here. For example, people have been asking about my epoxy floor. I did go with the basic cheap one. I'll throw an affiliate link actually down below for anyone who wants to check that out. It is holding up well so far. Haven't done a ton in here, but I got the epoxy down before I did anything else, just because I know that, you know, you might want to move your stuff in and get everything going, but get the epoxy done, you know, get the lift in before you really start making major moves in here. This is kind of going off the rails now, so those are your 5 kind of tips, things that I've learned, maybe a little bit of garage updates. That's about all I gotta say, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, 30% off hoodies. Every 3rd hoodie order gets a free t-shirt. BigClyde34.com/store. Promo codes here. Thanks for liking the video. Thanks for subscribing. You guys know all the general YouTube things that every YouTuber does that are probably annoying as hell at this point. I understand, but I still have to do it. So I'll catch you guys next time. Let me know if you have any questions below. I'll try and answer as best I can. Again, I did have a good amount of help with this, so might have to reach out and find answers to some of your questions, but ask away. All right.